Hey guys, and welcome back. I thought I would do this as a little bit of a hybrid YouTube slash podcast and basically talk through the mindset around bodybuilding in terms of going through a building phase, going through an off season. And this could be related to potentially anyone that is going through a period of time building their food up and basically not dieting. And I feel like this is something I've spoke about like quite a lot over the last few months and weeks, mostly because obviously this is the phase I'm in at the minute. Also because I think a lot of people share the dieting and the fat loss because obviously it looks like super glamorous and exciting because it looks cool being lean. But I also think it's so important to share this phase of a journey, and I am always as honest as I can be about sharing my physique progress, not only through dieting and prep but also in the off season as well. And to be quite honest, like I am someone that feels confident all year round. I don't really struggle with the off season or gaining weight. It's something that I know I need to do to progress. I think obviously I have bad body image days, of course. I think everyone does, when you're on your period or, you're just having a bit of a wobbly day. But I think on the whole, like I am happy in my body in off season. I'm happy in my body in prep when I'm dieting. To be honest, I don't feel like I am overly body image focused. I think I just kind of do what I need to. I can appreciate like both phases, and yeah, I'm pretty confident in both, but I think that has come with time. So I basically wanted to talk through my take on how to embrace like a building phase or a growing phase as such. This could be for someone that is going through like a building phase, just like lifestyle, just generally someone that is trying to move away from dieting, or even in prep, like doing an off season in prep. So hopefully this helps a little bit, shares a bit of an insight. Obviously this is something I've done for like a good few years now. Like I've been competing for, this is going to be like my fifth year potentially, fifth year in bodybuilding. So it's something that I've done quite a lot in terms of pushing food up, like aiming to build muscle. Something that I spent a lot of time doing between my first comp and my second comp. I spent like 3 years away from the stage, like trying to build muscle. So it's something that I feel like I do have quite a lot of experience on, and something I've learned a lot about. So yeah, anyway, waffle over, intro over. Hopefully this just helps a little bit. And something that I wanted to touch on, I will get to the point in a second. Something that I wanted to touch on is like remembering that you can still make progress and still enjoy life. And I think within bodybuilding, there's a lot of people out there that are like very, very much into kind of optimizing every last little aspect. And that is absolutely fine. And, there's nothing wrong with doing that. But I think for me, and this is something I've touched on in my podcast with Sanaya as well, like bodybuilding is a part of my life. I do bodybuilding, but it is not my whole life. And, there is so much more to life for me than just bodybuilding. And, obviously I want to reach my potential. I want to go as far as I can with it, but I also want to enjoy my life and enjoy other aspects of life that aren't about bodybuilding as well. And I feel like in an off season, I do have quite a good balance with still hitting my meals, getting my training in, recovering well, but also being able to go and like enjoy my life a little bit as well, essentially. So just to kind of kick off with this, I think the first point when you are in a building phase is to just embrace the phase you're in, because I feel like it's super easy, to be in a dieting phase and be like, oh my God, I can't wait to be able to eat again. I can't wait to be able to go out with my family and my friends and like be able to sit and have a nice meal, and you're excited to kind of get your curves back. Or I remember when I was dieting, I was like, oh my God, I can't wait to be able to have a bum again and like not look like a pancake when I'm stood side on in the mirror. But then you're in your building phase and you're like, oh, can't wait to be shredded and to like look really lean and be on prep again. And it's so easily done, and you end up like always wishing the time away to be in that next phase, and it's like the grass is always greener type thing. So I think honestly, one of the most important things is like embrace the phase you are in, because there are so many positives that come with not dieting and so many things to be like happy about and enjoy. And I think it's really, really important to appreciate those, because it's super easy, especially if it's one of the first times you're going through a building phase, to focus on, oh my God, I'm gaining weight, I'm not lean anymore, you know, the scale's going up, my clothes feel tighter, and to create a really negative mindset around that, whereas actually there are so many positives that come with that, you know, being able to have like more flexibility in terms of eating out. You know, I mean, I love like going out for meals and going out for drinks with like family and friends, and like Will and I will go on like date nights and stuff, and it's so nice just to be able to look at a menu and be like, oh, I'm gonna have like that burger, or I'm gonna have, you know, a drink tonight. And it's not always, you know, I'm not gonna go out and smash like burger and pizzas every week, but it's nice to be able to go out and actually like pick something you want from the menu without having to stress all the time about like not being able to eat. Like, for example, on prep, I won't eat out at all. You can't when you're on prep, you know, and it's just nice to be able to have that flexibility to just enjoy life a little bit as well. I'm not saying I don't enjoy life on prep, but it's just, you know, you can kind of do more things socially with family and friends. You can, you know, enjoy going out for food and drinks, and, you know, going out on day trips and being able to be a bit more flexible. So I think appreciating all the positives that come with it. But obviously there's also a sense of your energy levels are really good, you know, you can go and be more flexible with your training. You can travel to different gyms, you can maybe do some different forms of exercise. You know, you have more energy just to be like more present around your family and your friends. Also, you know, you strengthen the gym, like your energy is good, you see your strength coming on, you can really train really hard. Like, there are just so many positives to not dieting, and I think a lot of people actually don't focus on those and just focus on the fact that the scale weight is going up and the clothes fit a bit tighter, when actually like it's such a positive thing for you to do, and there's so much to be enjoyed within a building phase or away from dieting, and it's so worth just spending time in that phase just enjoying life a little bit more. And like I said at the start, I think, like, for me, I want to have that balance of, yes, I'm a bodybuilder, yes, I will commit myself to that and be the best that I can be, but I also want to enjoy my life and want to be able to do like normal things. And I like going out for food, you know, I like having a drink every so often, I like being able to go and do like maybe yoga or do like a little HIIT class or something. And I think it's super easy as a bodybuilder, and a lot of people do this, and there's nothing wrong with this, but it's super easy to get like wrapped up in a box of being like, I must be optimal all the time, and, you know, looking at what other bodybuilders are doing and then feeling like you're not doing optimally because you're not like bodybuilder 24/7. So I think it's just doing it in the way that suits you. And for me, I love the building phase, I like going out, I like having a few drinks, and it's a perfect time to do that when you are obviously not on prep. And I just feel like for me as well, having that bit of flexibility, being able to like cook some nice evening meals, not be on a really rigid meal plan 24/7, it just works, because then I get to prep and I'm like fully like, okay, let's go, ready for this, because I've had that bit more flexibility within the off season. So that's the first one. The second point that I want to say, and this kind of ties on, like, from embracing the phase you are in, focusing on other things in life, not just focusing on the training and the nutrition all the time, because, you know, there's so much more to it. There's, you know, you can focus on your training performance, you can focus on having fun, you can focus on living your life. So kind of tied into that first one, but just being able to actually draw your attention away from what you look like and, you know, actually focusing on life, because I think there's so much more to life than just being shredded and having abs. And it's a really, really nice chance to just be able to live your life and enjoy your life, and be able to eat out and go on holidays and, you know, go on day trips and just doing things that you enjoy. And, you know, like I said, I love bodybuilding, but, you know, I also love doing other things, and it's nice being able to have the opportunity to do that, because you can't when you're shredded and, you know, you dieting, you are obviously a bit more restricted with what you can and can't do, especially with it being a prep. So I think being able to just live your life a bit more and have fun with it, it just is a really nice place to be. Thirdly, I also think wearing things that you feel comfortable in, because it's super easy, and this is from a prep and a non-prep perspective, it's super easy to then make yourself feel like shit if you can't fit in those same clothes that you wore when you were dieting. And like, let's be honest, when you are building food up, you are building muscle, you know, your shape is going to start to change. And yes, there might be a little bit of body fat accumulated with that as well. But me, like, I cannot fit in the clothes that I fit in when I was 30 pounds lighter when I was on prep, right? If I go back to, I mean, we're in sort of like end of March, April time now. I finished my prep last May. I can't even get those clothes over my knees, never mind zip them up and get them like buttoned up. And that's okay. Like, I'm not going to be the same size as I was when I was dieting, and that's fine, because you know, if I look back to how I felt when I was in that prep, I do not want to feel like that all year round. And, you know, realistically, I probably don't want to look like that all year round either. And at the end of the day, I think it's super important to remember that clothes, you know, they're just a size. It doesn't define you. It doesn't matter what size you are. No one cares what size you are. You know, and I think it's just realizing that if you are training, you know, especially with weight training, your body shape is going to change. You know, and especially if you're wanting to go through a building phase to improve and to build muscle, you're probably not going to fit in the same clothes that you did fit into when you were dieting. And there's nothing wrong with that. I have some clothes that are a size 12, you know, it doesn't bother me. I have some clothes that are a size 8 and I still fit in. It's just important to remember that label on that bit of clothing doesn't define you. And I think this can be taken through anything as well, not just off season, but also dieting as well. Like, that is literally a number on a label. And the most important thing is that you feel good in that item of clothing, you feel confident, you feel happy, it fits you. Because trust me, you will feel so much better wearing a bigger sizing of clothing that actually fits you versus trying to fit into that teeny tiny bit of clothing that you wore when you were shredded that really doesn't fit and makes you feel uncomfortable. So I think, you know, there's absolutely nothing wrong with going out and buying a bigger size of clothing that actually fits you properly. And trust me, I've done that so many times now. And I've got to the point where I literally have to have 2 wardrobes. I have to have a wardrobe that is like prep and a wardrobe that is like off season, because there's just such a big difference between my body shape at both levels. And obviously, yes, it is an extreme. Not everyone goes to that extreme because it is at the end of the day like a competitive sport. But even like someone that is going through a period of time, maybe building muscle, that isn't a bodybuilder, you know, you might still find you have to change your wardrobe slightly, and that is absolutely fine. And just remember, again, it doesn't define you. It's an item of clothing with a label on it. Go and buy clothes that you feel good in, that fit you, you know, that don't squish you, that make you feel uncomfortable, because the most important thing is that you feel really, really comfortable in what you are wearing. And you know, that's fine. Roll with it. Get the clothes that fit you, and accept that if you are going through phases of building and cutting, you're probably going to have slightly different wardrobes to suit your body shape at the time. So yeah, there's nothing wrong with that. I have to do that. I just recently had to buy like a whole new gym wardrobe because the leggings that I had when I was on prep, it was just causing so much like skin and body fat overhang at the top because they were so tight around my waist that like they were just literally compressing me around the midsection. And you know what? Yeah, it's a size bigger, but I feel so much more comfortable in those clothes, and I'm not getting this horrible feeling when I sit down that my leggings are like digging into my stomach anymore. So yeah, just accepting that you're probably going to have to buy different clothes, and that's okay. Number 4, which I think is super important and really overlooked, is be logical with it, because as a female, you are not going to be shredded 24/7. And I think like accepting that and being like, okay, well, realistically, I can't be that lean all year round. And I think it is quite difficult when you are moving away from being lean to being slightly less lean. You know, it's quite a tough thing to wrap your head around. But at the end of the day, you know, look at it logically. Females need to carry body fat to have a healthy menstrual cycle, to be able to obviously like have children in the future if you want to do that. You know, to be able to even for health, right, from a hormone production perspective, you know, females are not meant to be shredded. And even like thinking back to how I felt on prep, with energy, with like mindset, concentration, like I was absolutely on the floor by the end of that prep, and there is no way that I would want to feel like that all year round. So it's just being logical with it as well, and be like, actually, you know what, I feel good, my energy's good, I can sleep really well, you know, I can train really well, I'm healthy, you know, I've got really good energy levels. Like, your body fat is needed on a female to be healthy, and that's okay. And it doesn't define you. So I think just being logical with it and remembering that as a female, you are not meant to be shredded. You are not meant to be walking around 365 days of the year with abs. Like, that is a very for a female to have abs, unless they're very genetically gifted, it requires low levels of body fat, which probably aren't healthy. So, and I think this is something I used to think all the time when I was younger. How do these girls get abs? I just want to have abs. And actually, you know, I didn't realize what it actually takes for a female to get visible abs, because, you know, for me, I couldn't walk around year round with abs because my energy levels will be through the floor. Like I wouldn't be able to concentrate. I would be doing loads of cardio. I'd be being, you know, low with my food. And that for me just is not worth it. So I think it's just being logical with it as well and thinking, is it really worth it? Do you really want to feel like that all year? Because most people probably wouldn't. And then lastly, just how you speak to yourself, which I think is super important, because, and I always say this a lot to my clients, right? If you are looking in the mirror and being like, oh my God, like you look horrible, or like that's disgusting, like look at that roll, or you look really, really like fat today, like you would not say that to a friend. So why would you speak to yourself like that? So I think it's just being compassionate with yourself and being like, yeah, you know what? I'm not dieting in the minute. I'm in a building phase and I'm cool with that. Like, you know, I've got curves, I've got shape, I'm working hard, I'm looking after myself, like, bro. And I think just not speaking to yourself like shit, it just really makes such a difference. And just remembering that this is the phase where the progress is made, right? When you are building your food up, you're getting stronger. Like, this is where the progress is made. So embrace that and just enjoy it, because again, I feel like it took me maybe a good couple of runs to get to this point, but I am literally in a place now where I can appreciate this for what it is. And I know that, you know what, it's a bit more body fat. It's not going to do any damage. It's actually a very healthy place for me to sit. And you know what, life's good. There's a lot more to life than being shredded, and everything's fine. So I think just being able to rationalize it, look at the positives, and just reframe your mindset towards gaining a little bit of weight, and that it's not necessarily a negative thing, it can really, really help. So yeah, they're basically my top 5 tips with just improving your mindset in a building phase and actually embracing it, enjoying it, having fun, and living your life. So hopefully this has helped a little bit. I'm excited to just share a bit more of this phase, because we've got basically 9 weeks to go of this building phase. So I'm going to try and document as much as I can and just basically show you like how I do an off season, because it's not, you know, it's not optimal to the absolute letter, but it's still productive. I still eat my food. I still train hard, you know, I'm still very on it. But I also live my life. I have fun. I go out, you know, and I have a lot more to my life than bodybuilding. So hopefully I can just share a little bit of an insight into that and show you that you can actually do both and still make very good progress. But yeah, thanks so much for listening. If you did enjoy, if you can like, subscribe, leave me a comment, let me know if there's any topics you would like to see more of, and I will be back next week.